Okay, so we're going to do part 2. Apparently I don't know how to pause a video without stop. I made a mistake and I stopped the other video. So now I have to make part 2 because I don't know how to join them together. So maybe that's okay and we'll do this in stages. We are now going to do this part, the collar, and finish the outlining. Once that's done, then we can start thinking about what color or design, if any, that we want to have inside. And by now, you know how to bead, put it that way. If you can do this, you can just keep practicing and you can bead anything that you want, because it's the outlining that takes the most time, and because you have to be so careful to make it follow your outline. After that, it's a lot easier, it goes faster. And some people, when they fill in, they do every second bead. Some people do every bead, some people do every third bead. It's up to you, but it does go faster, believe me. So if you've hung in here this long, congratulations, you are well on your way to finishing a orange shirt beaded pin. So let's fill this in here. And we'll take a guesstimate that it's going to take 6 beads. So let's pick up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, actually, I'm going to pick up 5. I'll test it. So we just hold it in there, and obviously we need more. One more great big fat bead would do the trick. So I'm going to find one. You'll notice the beads some are a little bigger than others. Let's try this guy. So we do the same thing. We pull the thread straight from where we want it to sit. I can see that that's going to fit. So I'll put my needle down on the line where I want the beads to end and pull it through, and there it is. Okay, so same thing, give it some tension in the back and start sewing those little guys down. And we're not after perfection here. I really hope that part of this process is that people are thinking about truth and reconciliation, why the orange t-shirt, what does that mean? Think about the residential school survivors and their bravery in telling their stories, and to think about all these things. I really hope that this crosses our minds and engages our mind and conversation. Beading is a great way to have conversations with people because you can bead and chat at the same time. And ultimately, I guess where I'm going with this little side chat is it's the process that's important here, just as much as the outcome. We're not after perfection. We're after new learning, engaging in something that you haven't done before, supporting a cause to create visual space for Indigenous people, and especially and specifically the survivors of residential schools, and to create dialogue. So that's all going to happen in the process of beading. You know, this little pin shouldn't take you too long, and it's not a race, but it'd be nice as we could have as many done as possible by September 30th and see them around town and the schools. So I'm getting to the end of this one. You know, lots of times many people come and they say, what do I say? How do I talk non-Native people that are just learning about the residential schools, especially in all those children found in Kamloops and beyond. And people want to talk about it. They want to acknowledge it, but they don't know what to say. And numerous people have asked, like, what do I say? And to me, I think the answer is you can't say anything that's going to change that reality, but you can acknowledge it and have conversations. Be really aware of how the news and what you've learned about residential schools makes you feel, what it makes you think of. And have that conversation with your neighbor or another person that is willing to engage and discuss it and talk about the future. What can we do to address reconciliation? What does that mean? All those things. What kind of actions can we take in our everyday lives? I think that's what we can all do. So, anyways, I'm going to put this on pause for a moment. Okay, so now we've got the bulk of our outlining done, and we're going to work on these little pieces of the sleeves joining the bodice and the collar. So put your needle in the corner where the armpit is. I'll come up. And we're going to be using our thumb as a guide because this is curved. Up until now, we've been doing straight lines, right? Now we're going to need to do a curve, but don't worry, you can do this. We'll pick up five beads, and we're going to use our thumb to create that. So I'll grab 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, oh, I'm missing one. 5. Actually, 6 or 7 might even be okay. So, oops. When I pull that straight, we're going to push it and it goes into a curve. So that's 7, maybe 7. I'll pick up 3 more. We might as well do the whole line. 1. You must have a few skills by now. You've outlined your t-shirts, so we can do this. We'll try something new. We'll pick up enough beads. To make that curve. I think I might take one off, and this is where you need to fiddle around, right? To see how many beads you'll actually need. So I'm going to, once I'm fairly sure that I have enough beads, and if you hold it straight and they go top to bottom, that's good, because you're going to use a little pressure in your thumbnail to curve it. But the thread should be kind of sitting in between 2 beads on top there when you pull it, and it should match up with this line. So just take your needle and put it in there on the top, pull it, make sure you have tension underneath. With keeping the tension underneath, you're holding that thread so they stay a bit taut. Use your thumbnail. Whoops, I almost knocked my camera over. Go back to that first bead. Oh geez, I need to take my glasses off. Let's do that. We'll go back to that first bead and stitch it down like you've done with the others. Just get it into place, using your thumb to gently push that line out. But the first one isn't affected by that curve so much, so just tack it down like you've done so far. And now, as you go, use your thumb to push it along that curve a bit. And just take your time, and that curve will develop as you go. Okay. So as you can see, that curve is kind of developing now, right? So just keep going. And I'm on the very top. There. So there's my curve. Use your thumb to smooth it out as you wish. The other beads will encase it once you fill this in, and that will stay. So I'm going to go and do the other side. But as you can see, we've got everything even, right? This side, that side. And I left this collar open, but I'm going to go and fill that in right now, actually. Make the most of my thread. So to do that, I'm just going to join. I'm going to come behind that last bead. And through the hole. And as you can see, there's a bit of a curve, right? So now that you've done the armpit curve, you can understand that you just need a little bit of pressure to do that curve. If you can go like this, there's a straight line from bead to bead. That's the amount of beads that you will need to push in for that curve. So if that helps you figure out how many you need. So I'm going to guesstimate it and work on that. So I ended up using 8 to join those two, and now I'm just going to go back and using pressure with my thread, I'm going to pull them and make a curve as I go along. Okay. just by coming down, pulling that thread down, it's drawing that line into a curve. And it doesn't have to be much of a curve, just a little bit of a dip, just to denote the collar, right? Okay. And don't forget, you are the boss of the beads. Take your time, and if you feel like you need a break, get up, walk around, and give your hands a break. Almost there. There, so I'm back where I started. And you can see it's a little wobbly, but all I'm going to do is push it like this and even it out. There we go. Easy as that. And like I said, we're not after perfection, right? Now, we're going to do this little curve underneath the actual collar in the front. So, same thing, we'll pick up some beads, but this one's not as straightforward because there isn't two lines to join. We have to go around. So, bring your needle up at the beginning and pick up 4 or 5. I'm not going to pick up as many this time. I'm going to have to do this in sections. And just the same way you did the other edges, just work your way around. I'm going to go back to the start there. And ouch, poked myself. I'd imagine you've poked yourself a few times as well. Okay.